In today's video, I'm going to be telling you why I decided to upgrade to the brand new Sonos Arc Ultra, even though I already had the very impressive and very good Sonos Arc soundbar already. I'm going to share with you what my first impressions are after watching sport, movies and music on it, and the differences that I've noticed so far compared to the Sonos Arc. But first, let me tell you how the Arc Ultra fits into my Sonos ecosystem. I've been a huge fan of Sonos products for nearly 10 years. I've had many generations of all the speakers from Sonos Play 1s to the Era 300s, and almost every generation of the soundbar and sub release since, including the Playbar, Beam and Arc. This video is intended for those of you that are considering the Arc Ultra and whether it's a worthwhile upgrade from the Arc, or if the Arc Ultra is the right premium soundbar upgrade for your system. This review won't be super technical, and it's aimed at the average consumer looking for the best sounding Dolby Atmos soundbar to add to their system. For those of you that are looking for a real technical specifications and graphs about the various capabilities at different frequencies, then let me recommend that you check out this guy, a fellow YouTuber called Peter P, who knows just about everything that there is to know about premium wireless speakers, and he can share with you the intricate details on his channel. Okay, so my Arc Ultra will replace the Arc setup that I have in my main living room, which is where I'm standing now. It's grouped with two Era 300 surround sounds and a Generation 3 sub. I've got a Sony Bravia 75-inch TV that completes that setup. Unboxing the Arc Ultra was very easy, as it always is with Sonos products, with the locking box that you can unlock and lift the lid off safely. Looking at the Arc Ultra and the Arc side by side, you'll notice that it looks sleeker than the Arc, and although slightly longer, its footprint actually looks smaller. It also comes in a really nice matte finish, and I've got the black version, which looks really nice and stylish. Changing over from the Arc to the Arc Ultra was super easy, as all the connections for the power and HDMI are all in exactly the same place on the Arc Ultra as they were on the Arc. This may seem insignificant, but it actually is a huge positive, as many people will have wires and cables hidden in their setup, so it's great not having to disrupt all of that to put this in, so that is really good news. Now, adding the Arc Ultra to my system was very easy, with the app picking up the Ultra quickly. However, this is where things got a little frustrating, because then I had to do an update on the system, which then seemed to throw out the Era 300s and the sub out of the system completely. No matter what I did, I couldn't reconnect them or even find the 300s actually on the app whatsoever. So I ended up having to do a complete factory reset on each of them and reconnect them individually to the system. So the entire process took about 1.5 hours, which was super frustrating and really unnecessary in my opinion. Once I managed to get everything set up and working together, I tried to run the TruePlay, but it just didn't work, and it still doesn't. I'm not sure why. It doesn't worry me all that much, because my experience with TruePlay anyway has been pretty hit and miss in the past. So why did I get the Arc Ultra when I already owned the Arc? The Arc is an excellent bit of kit, there's no doubt about it, but I found in certain situations it was lacking. Firstly, the bass. Now, to me, the bass output seemed muted, even compared to what we had on the Playbar previously. Without a sub, the soundbar just, to me at least, seemed a little lacking in a large space. Secondly, the midtones. They seemed too low, which was a big problem for dialogue. Now, often watching action films, I had to change the volume up and down between scenes, because when there was a scene with a lot of talking, it was very quiet, and then you'd move to a scene with lots of explosions and high-speed action and car chases, things like that, and all of a sudden the volume would go up very high. Even with the speech enhancement turned on in the Arc, it just seemed to me that the dialogue just seemed to lack clarity. Lastly, the spatial Dolby Atmos delivery to the height channels. I felt even with the height turned up to +7, I just didn't quite get the true spatial experience that I was hoping for. Now, don't get me wrong, it was still very good. I just felt like it could have been a lot better when watching things like motorsports and movies, like Top Gun Maverick, for example, with lots of planes flying around and high-speed jets. I felt that the front speakers and the surrounds outperformed the height channels significantly. So what do we get with the Arc Ultra? Now, obviously it's going to be impossible to show you on YouTube, because the sound and differences and the experience that you have will be defined by how you're watching this video right now and the setup that you have at home. I also can't show you movies or non-licensed music on here, because I'll end up getting a copyright strike. However, I can attempt to explain my experience and give you a taste of how the Arc Ultra performs. So a quick look at the differences between the Arc and the Arc Ultra hardware. The Arc Ultra boasts 14 speaker drivers in a 9.1.4 channel configuration compared to the original Arc's 11 drivers in a 5.0.2 setup. Now we have 7 tweeters, 6 mid-range drivers and 1 woofer in the Ultra versus 8 mid drivers and 3 tweeters in the original Arc. Both soundbars support Dolby Atmos, but the Arc Ultra's additional drivers will help improve that spatial performance that I was looking for. The Arc Ultra's woofer is what Sonos refer to as a sound motion speaker. This proprietary tech is designed to deliver exceptional bass in a compact design, with Sonos claiming it can now double the bass output of the original Arc. In order to test the new setup, I set the bass to 0, the treble to +1 and the height to +7 and set the volume limit to off. I watched the Formula 1 Netflix series Drive to Survive. Right from the first scene, I could notice a huge difference in the bass. It was louder and deeper than before and packed much more of a punch when hearing things like the engines firing up and the cars roaring past on the track. The most noticeable difference to my ears at least was in the mid-range. The dialogue is now crystal clear and we no longer suffer from the issues that the Arc has when it's sometimes difficult to hear dialogue when you're watching high action and explosive movies. Sonos now gives us an additional speech enhancement setting as well of high, medium and low. I have mine set to medium and I think it's perfect for the room that I'm in. It's difficult to explain on here, but hearing dialogue in super clear clarity makes such a big difference and helps bring what you're watching into the room with you. I can, however, show you one of my own YouTube videos as I license the music through Epidemic Sounds. It's not Dolby Atmos, obviously, but not everything that you consume through your TV and Sonos Arc Ultra soundbar will be, and everything is very crystal clear and perfect on that as well. The additional drivers that Sonos have added really do help with the spatial capabilities of the system, and my feeling that the sound height in the Arc could be improved has now been 100% delivered on, in my opinion. Watching this short Dolby Atmos demo in the jungle really highlighted just how impressive the spatial capabilities are as part of a setup with the Era 300 surrounds and the sub either Gen 4 or Gen 3. It simply feels like you're in and surrounded by what it is that you're watching and listening to. Now I appreciate it's difficult to hear that through this YouTube video, but honestly the Arc Ultra paired with the Era 300 surrounds and either 1 or 2 sub Gen 3 or 4 subs is absolutely mind-blowing. Now is it worth upgrading from the Arc? It's a difficult question to answer for me because I've actually done that myself, and therefore after spending nearly £1,000 on it, there's a natural bias for me to say yes. So what I will say is that you must remember that the Arc, especially if you have it paired with the Era 300 surrounds, is already excellent. So any upgrade on excellent is probably incremental in nature. But to me this upgrade in terms of the sound does feel next generational. The Sonos Arc Ultra soundbar is immersive as a standalone unit, but in my opinion it's unbeatable when it's paired with the Era 300s and a Gen 3 or Gen 4 sub. You really feel like you're there in the movie you're watching or standing in the stadium listening to music. As a regular consumer looking for the highest quality and most immersive experience at home, this delivers in the areas that Arc fell slightly short in my opinion. The Arc Ultra isn't twice as good as the Arc because the Arc was already fantastic, but it is significantly better in my opinion, and it is worth the upgrade if £1,000 or $1,000 is justifiable to your budget. I'm sure that there are audio technicians and sound purists out there that may argue that there are better options out there, but for me, Sonos sits at the top of the tree when it comes to premium wireless audio equipment, and the Arc Ultra is the star on the top of the tree. What don't I like? The app. Come on Sonos, let's sort that out next. Now if you found any value in this video, then please consider giving a like and dropping a comment, as it really helps with the algorithm and show this video to more people that are considering the Sonos Arc Ultra as the right soundbar option for them. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.